As our state works to rebound from the pandemic, tens of millions of dollars are pouring into Colorado communities from federal programs.
And we're taking an in-depth look at how local leaders are spending those CARE Act dollars. Earlier today, we told you how some cities use the funds to reward the people putting their lives on the line every day.
Well, Denver 7 investigator Jennifer Kovaleski continues her reporting tonight, highlighting the reasons why some first responders got hazard pay and others didn't.
911 are reporting a life-threatening emergency.
Police, fire, and emergency workers have been on the front lines of the pandemic.
Going into homes, not knowing what they'd find on the other side, not knowing if someone was sick.
Many having no choice but to interact with the public every day.
And so they really were most heavily impacted by the pandemic in Aurora.
Denver 7 Investigates found communities across the state chose to reward that sacrifice with hazard pay. Extra money given to first responders through CARES Act funding. Federal taxpayer money given to counties to help pay for COVID-related costs.
It's about $3,000 for eligible police officers and firefighters.
Councilman Curtis Gardner introduced the resolution in Aurora, and records show Aurora, Jefferson County, Lakewood, and Thornton all paid its frontline workers hazard pay. How much each worker received all depended on where they worked. But look closely. Not all police and firefighters saw that bump in pay. No reward for doing essentially the same job. The state's largest law enforcement agency, the Denver Police Department, didn't get hazard pay from CARES Act funding. Douglas County deputies also went without.
One jurisdiction, maybe just north of us, was using it, yet we were not.
Douglas County Sheriff Tony Spurlock says instead of hazard pay, his county chose to use the money to give deputies 80 hours of additional sick leave. Time off they could use if they got sick or had to take care of a family member.
I think it was a comforting insurance for the employees.
Spurlock says they also used the money to ramp up personal protective equipment.
What would you say to one of your deputies if they came to you and asked, why didn't I get this hazard pay, but my friend in Aurora did?
Well, what I tell them is you work for the sheriff here, and you work for Aurora PD, he works for Aurora PD. I think what we tell them is that, you know, it's not just about the pay, okay? It's about making sure that they're safe every day.
While he understands why other agencies applied for it, he says his deputies were out doing the job they're paid to do.
I think it did lend itself a little weird feeling of, quite frankly, you know, taking hazard pay for doing a job that we do every day.
Denver 7 Investigates continues to review records showing how communities are using CARES Act funding. We're making sure your federal taxpayer money was put to the best use. With this Rebound report, I'm Denver 7 investigator Jennifer Kovaleski.